Invalid law is no law. And the power asserted by the Supreme Court is nothing less than a power by a court order to enact or replace a law is ruled invalid. This is a legislative power, and one that the Constitution, under the doctrine of separation of powers, denies the judicial branch. That's why I believe Justice Scalia said in his dissenting opinion that Obergefell stands for nothing less than the proposition that, quote, my ruler and the ruler of 320 million Americans coast to coast is a majority of the 9 lawyers on the Supreme Court. This power is one the people of Tennessee, regardless of whether they're conservative or liberal, religious or atheist, dare not let the Supreme Court assert without raising the point. For someday the power exercised in Obergefell to judicially foist on the people and their states a new statute the court likes will be used against them. We also address the process chosen by this lawsuit. It is one that is lawful and constitutionally contemplated under the concept of dual sovereignty reflected in the doctrine of federalism. It is not an unusual thing for a state court to be called upon to decide how a U.S. Supreme Court decision should be applied to a state law. The Alabama Supreme Court is now grappling with that issue. The Eighth Circuit is grappling with that issue. And so, we are asking our court to decide that. Should the courts rule that Tennessee marriage license law is invalid, then the legislature can decide what, if anything, it wants to do. If there are those who do not like what the Tennessee legislature does at that time, then they can bring their own lawsuit to have the Supreme Court of the United States address the conflict between our court's decision, the legislature's response to it, and the holding of Obergefell. That is how the legal process in a nation of dual sovereigns under the principles of federalism and separation of powers works. We firmly believe the courts of Tennessee will follow the law the Tennessee Supreme Court has laid down on how to interpret statutes that have been ruled unconstitutional. And we believe that the court will respect the separation of powers and the principles of federalism reflected in our Constitution. In essence, we believe the system our founding fathers will work if it's given an opportunity to do so, and that's what we've chosen to do today.